that map in this season, but I think it's still open for anyone staking out there. So it's great that Solara is kept for the very last. Let's see exactly how teams build up on this momentum. So Indonesian teams are going to have a good start here today.
Yes, Kalahari. This is the signature map for the region. The region just plays this map amazingly. I think if you want to scrim against a team on Kalahari, I think you start messaging the Indonesians and be like, hey bro, can we play some games on Kalahari? You're probably going to kick our butts, but we need the practice. And sometimes you kind of have to have a team just destroy you on one map for you to figure out, like, okay, what's the strategy? What works? What doesn't? Why is this region so good on this map? But we are going to be flying in here for game number 1, folks, for the knockout stage. And we're not starting too hot yet. We're not quite seeing any teams go for any major hot drop. So I think we're going to have a quiet start, unless Refinery is not going to be this point of contention today. Okay.
Yeah, very standard refinery drop coming through here for the side of RRQ. Setting out 18D as well as an insurance policy, but it's not going to have to worry too much. Very easy rotation as well with all of those zip lines back onto the platforms to jump back in with his brothers. But for the time being, a great looting opportunity for one of the strongest team, if not the strongest team here on Kalahari, RRQ, who have got the most number of points collected on this map with 2 booyahs to their name.
Yeah, so I wonder what the plan is here for all of our top teams. Would they want to kind of avoid RRQ? Because to be fair, it's not just RRQ that's really great on Kalahari. A lot of our top performing teams generally do really well on this map too. So they can also snipe away a Kalahari themselves. But with how quiet things are, I think I would be a little bit concerned, because that means everybody is going to loot up. So I guess it depends on where that circle is going to be. But RRQ, I mean, they get the first blood onto Dian from GOW. So I don't think that's a good sign for everyone else in this lobby.
Yeah, so they've just got a hit list on him, so they don't know exactly who they've got a hit list on. They just know that there is somebody in the vicinity, because recently the hit list got nerfed, so the range of detection just kind of got lessened, right? So you know now there's somebody in a very close proximity to you, so they could go out hunting here. And obviously, if you've got the coda on your side, if you've got the clue on your side, you can, click on it real quickly. You can see Wasana's running that as the active skill card, but it is going to be Esports that catches sight of Bigatron by Vitality, and not taking too long at all to fire those shots. But Nero bleeding out on the ground. One very dangerous with the AWM. Nolan with the backup, and the Trogon does get the shot in there. But with the time turner, very quickly undoing his presence with the Trogon. Allen gets the counter and instantly backs away. Bigatron left with 2 players here.
Really awkward position for Bigatron too, because they're the ones on the ground, and PE have the high ground advantage. But now it's going to be Bruram fighting into another team themselves. It's going to be Todak who just want to get out of this fight. You can tell they do not want to engage. They're just trying to go for the jukes. They're trying to block off the entry points. But I kind of feel like they're setting themselves up to just be taken out all at once.
A beautiful play here by Wasana. Gets pressured by the Riptide Rhythm, and then Ice Grenade all on his own. Pressures 3 players, but the rest of his team members not close enough for that backup. Get high, a little too slow to the party, but still very accurate on the M590 shots. Gets the quick sneak in, and out of nowhere gets a double down. And Jonah bleeding out on the ground, but they do not need to worry at all, because Get High is getting the job done all on his own. Needs to hurry up now. Breaks down the glue wall. Riptide Rhythm from afar helps the squad out, and Moshi, the demon, will single-handedly play a role there with his Skylar, helping out Get High as well as Jonah, sending in those shots. And that was just an unfortunate engagement from the Malaysian squad.
Well, what's even worse, AJ, is that we did not see this on the screen, but EVOS have already been eliminated from the round, which we don't even know what happened over there, unfortunately, but off to a horrible start for our EWC champions. We'll have to figure out what happened later on, as GOW are ready to fight into Falcons. Pina going to be leading the charge here for the team, but GOW, they have gone for a bit of a split. They've got a 2-2 split, 2 up front, 2 out back. Now, I am a bit concerned, because if you lose your 2 front runners, you don't really have a way to be able to pick them up. So we'll see if GW can find a way in. But On Fire wants to start firing himself. He does not get the 1 tap. He's going to keep on going into Dian, but Nero's been caught.
Wait, what is he doing? On Fire needed to go in there for the shot. had a moment of lag, but Peanuts here for the backup. And On Fire with that follow-up will be able to shut down Deanne. Great time turner by Deanne, though, just to pull away a point for the squad, taking Kororo out of the equation. But Falcons will very quickly recover from that situation. And GOW still holding on to their own as well. They haven't been eliminated just yet.
Yeah, the 2-2 split really paying off for the team there. So, changing perspectives here, folks, to RRQ, who have still stuck to Refinery, just trying to find anybody. But at this point, I think you're just kind of camping out, trying to figure out where that circle is going to be and to determine where you sort of want to move as a team. Because, yeah, they just haven't been successful in scouting. AGAL moving as a group themselves, not really in the vicinity of anyone aside from maybe PE Sports, but PE Sports they're surrounded by GOW and Cougar. I mean, apparently the cat beats the dog in this situation, although this is not a dog, this is a PE Sports.
I don't even know. What animal is that? Is that Cougar?
I think it's a Cougar. Oh, wow, I guess you have a player named Cougar, you have the logo Cougar. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but of course, Farah has been doing very, very decent in this season. 2 booyahs to their name. Not too bad of a run in the group stages. Managing to climb up all the way to the 5th spot with a total of 304 points just behind WAG. And that is, if you ask me, very, very impressive for the team that used to be known as Core Memory. But, you know, going back a little bit to that engagement between Buriram and Toda, I was just so surprised that Toda did not react to that situation at all. This is not the same Toda that we saw earning their spot here to play early in phase 2, because they just looked so lost in that engagement. I mean, there were many opportunities for them to react. They could have taken down Wasana. The Riptide Rhythm was used, but Wasana very easily just used his Rebel Rush with the Tatsuya, got away, and pressured 3 players with the Deep Freeze. And there was just no response from them at all. And then they just waited for Get High to show up and wreck them.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if we try to look at it through their perspective, Cougar's been caught out there by Lauho. Great sniping there from PE Esports. But Cougar will be able to get himself back up. And they have revealed their position. Although P, they still have 1 player scouting things out here, Nero. He can see them, and they've got to be careful because Nero's doing a really great job just sort of keeping eyes on PR here. So PR, if they do decide to go down, they need to figure out a way to somehow get down without being caught out by PE.
Yeah, great positioning overall from PE Sports. So if anything does go south here for Nero, a very quick revival can come on through. The rest of the players can very quickly disengage as well from that situation. But AGAL setting themselves up for a battle here up against WAG. WAG has the better defensive spot. AGAL all piled up into a tiny little spot. A couple of grenades could have wrecked them instantly, but it's Barros that's cooking up that nade, and WAG knows exactly what's up. They back away from that window, not camping in a tight little spot. Trying to catch out Cypher X-Ball with the AC-80 almost, but just gets a few clips on them.
Oh, and I think WEG, they're kind of panicking now because unfortunately they didn't manage to catch anyone during that initial grab. They will have to pick up Cyrus here, who is on the ground. But I think WEG, because they didn't get the initial clips, they might actually just be taken out here. AGAL, aggressive play already. Oh, but Bigatron's here too.
Bigatron just appearing out of nowhere. Dew has chosen to stay out of this fight. He's probably going to be the final survivor here if things do go south. And AGAL, they instantly back away. And that's all thanks to the information given by Dew, who was watching from afar. He saw the Bigatron players come in here for a hot drop. And he calls his team off of the fight instantly. But WAG getting a long-range snipe, taking Dew out of the equation. Now the information giver has been shut down, and AGL is in a pickle. And RRQ chooses to join this party as well. What is going on?
Hey, RRQ have not got any eliminations to their name. So if you hear action, I think you just jump right into it, AJ. So RRQ, I mean, if they can be that 3rd, 4th party, I think they're gonna be super happy. I mean, VP, if they can hear this as well, maybe they even consider trying to jump into this. We do see the monster truck being deployed to the side. AGAL though, gonna be using that vending machine there for Barros for the team. And PE Esports, they still have one player outside of that circle, but AGAL still grouped up as a team. And I think they're really considering, like, do they want to go back in? Maybe they wait until the gunfire dies down, and that's their sign to sort of come in and clean up if these teams are very wounded. But WAG and RRQ playing extremely patiently, and as they should, because we are still very early in this game.
Yeah, we already saw dudes kind of cooking up the grenade on standby to just toss it through that window. But luckily for WAG, as well as Bigatron, nobody playing it close there. So dudes chooses to not lose his lethals very early in that potential standoff. And it's a little bit of a stalemate between the three squads. But Pharaoh versus Falcons now. Pharaoh already has a decent defensive spot. Falcons trying to penetrate this compound. Karoro and Limit from up top, getting the information. Dot shot out of the sky. Karoro, a monster alongside On Fire. Pharaoh just did not see that one coming.
Hook, line, and sinker, and they are just fishing for Pharaoh. Zenzi just trying to avoid Karoro, but there's only so far you can go. Oh, the Falcons. That was such a beautifully coordinated fight. Jeez, they're coming back too.
Zenzi, with a sliver of health left on him, gets a triple revival and a M519 knocked out as well. Decent glue walls to patch himself back up, saving the squad single-handedly. Grenade pulls it out at the wrong time. And Pina goes in for the Punisher with the Oscar. Valiant dashes through his glue wall. And that definitely surprised the guy. But what a save from Zenzi.
I mean, he keeps Pharaoh in this game, but how far can you go with the team? Like a three-man revive this late into the game, you're going to be running on very little in terms of your inventory. You're basically just going to have to pick up what's left by all these other teams. So Pharaoh, if they can make a good comeback here, that would be a miracle for them. GOW, though, running into the hands of Buera and Wasana. Unfortunately, not able to get those one taps, but now they will have to engage. And Demon from the side, caught by Limit.
Beautifully done, but Wasana unable to get the knock, unable to steal the knock that came off of the Falcon shot as well. That's a tad bit unfortunate. Wasana has definitely been nerfed. I've seen many players kind of use the cord and use it as the perfect punishing weapon. This guy just hasn't found his rhythm just yet, forcing Get High to do a lot of the heavy lifting this season. I cannot wait for the monster Wasana to wake up again in the competition.
Well, I think Wasana might need to wake up soon because Falcons are going to be joining this party as well. And that circle, that is brutal for Broram and Falcons. So they'll have to fight their ways through together. Meanwhile, everybody else inside that circle, I mean, you're not safe if Moshi's around.
I mean, damn, with an AWM. Zenzi spotted out Moshi. Super dangerous in the situation. It's got that skyline. That's exactly how Todak got wrecked earlier. Moshi was just sitting like 3 miles away. Shot a double Riptide Rhythm at them, breaking down their defenses, allowing Jonah as well as Get High to find those easy tags. And Todak was just a sitting duck at that point of time. But GOW trying to sneak away, but unfortunately with one player down on the ground, there's just so much they could do with that time turner. Now behind the wall, 2 more survivors on the side of the Vietnamese squad.
Oh, hang on, Falcons. They're going to catch sight of Buriram because I think Buriram tried to go for the wrap themselves, but now they're out in the open. So glue walls will be pretty important here for these teams to try and maneuver around each other. But Kororo leading the charge here for Falcons. But little do they know, as they're shooting at each other, they are giving sight to RRQ on where they are coming from as well. But really great play there from Buriram, using the natural cover and saving their glue walls as Falcons try to go for this advancement.
And of course, Falcons distracted by Buriram. GOW survives that, and a player from the side of GOW gets the elimination onto Pina on top of everything else. Limit. On fire down on the ground, bleeding out. Limit flies on in and punished by AGAL Cypher. Karoro, the final survivor on the side of Falcons. Massive points picked up through those eliminations. And the bait was Buriram. And now with their time turner, they're all fine and dandy, recovering before they enter the next circle.
And PE Esports going to be eliminated in 8th spot in this matchup. We still have 7 teams remaining, AJ, but that's far too many teams. That's how little real estate there is. We've got VP fighting with AGAL, WAG, and Bigatron also shooting from the sidelines as well. And while that's all happening, Buriram, they have a very clear way into this circle. The only team they have to worry about is RRQ, but is RRQ watching behind them?
I mean, so many of these teams from Thailand, but they're not in a decent defensive spot like RRQ just yet. One of the best readers of the circle, one of the best rotators out there once again from the Indonesian squad. But Virtus Pro just cooking AGAL. Player after player. Cypher, the only one left here, but they have managed to cut down the numbers on both sides. Cypher in a 1v2 will not survive, but the damage has been done to Virtus Pro as well. Getting revivals obviously impossible at this point, cutting down their chances at a booyah.
Well, cutting down their chances, I think RRQ is going to make the chances for everyone else to survive very, very slim, especially with where this circle is slowly moving. And now Buriram at risk of being taken up by WAG, who have that rooftop to work with. And I think they're also revealing the position of Buriram to RRQ. Now, Buriram, they do manage to make their way in. Nobody has been one-tapped, so they're going to be able to work around that compound that RRQ is using. But we do have a couple of players from Falcons on the other side as well. And it's Buriram versus Falcons yet again. And Falcons already dropping one by one. On fire, going to be hitting the ground. And Buriram, they have a wall to work with. Nameless here for Virtus Pro. Oh no, he's lost his blue ball. It's going to keep on using it, but everyone just pelting him with bullets. They want to get rid of him, and they will get it. Buriram, another elimination to their name.
How is On Fire still alive? The guy horizon lined himself again, but beautiful shot from across the battlefield, and Bigatron will lay the final nail on the coffin for Falcons, taking them out of the equation. And now we are left with 4. 2 from Indonesia, 1 from Vietnam in the name of WAG. But Buriram still standing strong here outside the perimeters. RRQ with the best defensive spot, but the circle moving towards the Vietnamese team.
Oh, those Riptide Rhythms are very, very scary for any team that is not within that compound guarded by RRQ. And I think the question we have now is who is going to target who first? Because the moment somebody gets targeted, that's your moment to try and go for a potential backstab. Where attention has been drawn. Looks like Bigatron going to make that roundabout play there onto WAG. Moving where that circle is moving as well to get that advantageous position. RRQ, though, hanging back, and Buriram going to be the next ones to move. I don't know if I agree with this play here, AJ, because RRQ are now left out in the open.
Yep, Buriram will find the back of X-Ball and the headshot from Osana with that AC-80, but a decent time turner instantly set up for that recovery, and the preemptive strike defensively to lay out all of those glue walls has done WAG justice here. They very quickly circle around, and look at Buriram hanging back, but now on the higher ground on top of WAG. They've got this compound defended, and Tikui out of nowhere, the Wonder Kid runs on up, shutting down Wasana, and the full-on engagement between WAG and Buriram.
Oh, Jonas hitting the ground as well. Oh, Buriram, they need to get control of this somehow. It's now down to X-Ball for WAG, and they get rid of them. And Buriram, they didn't lose a player. They're on the ground, but they can absolutely pick them up. So Buriram still 4-man strong. Whereas the remaining teams, it's RRQ and Bigatron. The 2 Indonesians up against the Thai team. And look at RRQ now wanting to take over the same compound that Buriram are on. But Buriram, they had time to heal up. And AJ, I think we're now back to another stalemate. Who's going to make that play first?
Yeah, but unlike the previous setup, Buriram can't simply just run up the roof. They'll have to use the hook gun, which means putting themselves out in the open, straight in the crosshairs of the team of Bigatron. Therefore, they have to stay silent and play this passive as much as possible, possibly baiting out RRQ up against Bigatron and then jumping into the fight. The only thing that can undo their trick here is if that circle somehow disables them. Riptide Rhythm from up top, Abe with the cord. 1 down. Dudes fights 1 as well. And RRQ cooking Bigatron by Vitality. Runs on it with a valiant dash and valiantly shuts down their players and their chances.
RRQ with a crazy play. I mean, they sacrificed 18 deer for the Abe is there, so it looks like he'll be able to pick them up. Yep, he's going to be able to heal back up, and now it's a 2-2 split here for RRQ versus Buriram. Look at Buriram. I love their split as well. Dutso going to be able to hit the other side of the wall, and Jonah's been caught too. He's on the ground. He's gone.
Yep, he's gone. Moshi from the back, and Riptide Rhythm puts 1 down, gets the instant snap onto Abe as well. Moshi all alone though, and RRQ cooks him for a big booyah. The 3rd one on Kalahari so far.
RRQ is awake, the sun is shining, and this team is cooking a campfire feast, folks. Oh boy. I mean, there was a reason why they did so amazingly well during our first phase and already off to a strong start during phase 2. If you see Kalahari and if you see RRQ, I think that's when you're going to start to get the shivers.
Damn, bro, this was a solid final circle, especially in the battle between Buriram as well as Bigatron. We thought it was gonna break down, but RRQ was the one to catch them, trying to rotate onto the outside perimeter, and it all started off by Ma'al's Riptide Rhythm, breaking down their defenses. The time turner came out, they tried to pick their players right back up, but of course, in the Kalahari map, I do expect to see them bounce back because PE Esports is technically one of the better teams on Kalahari. So it was a little bit of a surprising dip in performance. So this is where they really have to bounce back and prove themselves, or else it might just end up being a Todak case where it's a downward spiral for them as well. The flight path is going to be fairly decent, cutting between Twin Bridge as well as the Intellect Center all the way down towards Plazaria, opening up the full map for all of these teams.
And are we going to start seeing some shenanigans? Normally, if we're going to see anything, it's probably game 2 onwards. And at the moment, just a little bit of a split there by Todak. We do have Noki sort of in between some of GOW's players. But aside from that, it looks like it's a clean split here, AJ.
I mean, it's a understandable split here from Todak, but they are playing with fire and that Valiant dash. So that was supposed to punish Noki, but instead he's the one that punishes, had the better gun, the AUG in hand, and rips Demon's life away. But he needs to find a point of recovery. Noki still going in for the shutdown, going up against a Vector, up close and personal. Rip can literally rip him apart, but here comes Jojo with the backup as well. He's got the AUG. It's a 2v1 situation, and it looks like GOW is going to be 2 men down very early on.
And I think GW, they're just saying, okay, we're going to have to give our players away because they literally flew in with Demon here, who's still coming back in for the team. So flyback is there for GOW, but I mean, you got 2 eliminations already. Great start there. Oh, but not great start here for here because Abe hitting the ground thanks to PE Esports.
Well, dudes, with the instant retrieval here, and Ma'al backing up the squad very well with the VSK from afar. But the pickup is there for the side of PE Esports. So no player sacrifice just yet. Just forcing RRQ to scramble. One might want to say that they got a easy point off of RRQ there. But the recovery is very impressive from the Indonesian squad. But for 18 to get himself out of this pickle is definitely going to be a very difficult task. Nolan has got the flank here. LBT flanking around towards that right-hand side as well to pressure him away. Forced to use that glue wall. 18D is definitely going to be sacrificed, looking at the fact that none of the other RRQ players are rotating in to save him.
I wonder if they're trying to bait with 18 Deer. Maybe make PE Esports really commit for this 18 Deer elimination. Oh!
Well, I didn't expect Nolan to get taken down there, but 18 Deer definitely out of the equation. And PE Esports trades away one of their players as well. So it's not really a winning battle here for the Vietnamese squad. They can back away, but the fact is they've taken 1 from each side. So a little bit of a stalemate for now. Falcons flying on in, cutting off any potential here for Zenzi to get away, and Pina finishing him off with the A124 pop.
I love the way that Falcons are playing for these first 2 play days, these first 2 games, AJ. They are so aggressive right off the bat. Already 4 eliminations, and PE, I mean, they're out of the round. We had expectations, but it's just... yeah,
well, with expectations comes disappointment as well. Unfortunately, they faltered on a decent map of theirs at Kalahari, and their best map Nextera now dropped as well. PE Esports in a tough little spot. They have started off the day in a very bad way, and this is exactly what we mean. The randomizer, you know, the arrangement of maps can make such a huge difference. And my, oh my, we were just talking about how EVOS needed to make a little bit of a comeback here, and they do exactly that by taking away 2 players from Buriram very early on. Yeah,
those 2 eliminations also setting them back in terms of loot, so not the not the peak condition Boyram that we're used to seeing. And yeah, we see EVOS appearing on the map and they catch sight of Jonah, who's just so desperately trying to get away from that player. But yeah, we're going to be able to walk out there for now. The rest of Boyram, though, they are here with WAG. And remember, AJ, Boyram, they're injured. They are not at full capacity. So I hope they're ready to potentially take this on. Otherwise, they might have to sacrifice someone just to survive.
And WAG ain't no chump squad. They can wrap things up instantly here if the conditions are right. And Buriram's just trying to, for their very own sake, make the conditions very not right. Dragging them outside of Grab Labs to potentially engage. Catching up with Jonah. A good rotation defensively pulled off here by Buriram. And in the meantime, on the opposite side of the battlefield, you've got Falcons going up against Toda, and Toda do not have a decent playing field. But Faiz could just be the one that makes the difference here on that right-hand side flank. Has the AC-80, but Jojo says hasta la vista, leaving Noki to bleed out there. But it is not Falcons that pulls the point away, it's Bigatron.
Oh, whoa. Okay, so we've got a few teams within the same vicinity here. And we're going to be seeing Falcons actually going to be regrouping here. Now, Faiz might be in trouble. But speaking of trouble, oh my gosh, EVO's flying right past Boyram.
Yep, well, Valiant dash through, and Wasana gets punished. Ray and Rastia, the deadly combo, get high, hoping and praying they don't find him, but this is a matter of time. Ray circling around, spots him out. Rastia gets the information as well. Backstab time, and Rastia, with that backstab, pulls that point away. And Moshi, as the final player left in the game, will hit a double revival. Has enough coins here at Farmtopia to hit that double revival. Looking for more, but GOW just landed to spoil the party. But Pharaoh is there for a little bit of a distraction. So GOW is going to have their hands full for the time being.
Unless Mushi wants to stick his nose into this business too. Oh, such cheeky plays from Mushi.
Oh, wow! What a headshot, Moshi! Deadly as always. He's the only player capable enough to take away points from the other squads, but even though he's all alone, this guy not backing down. In fact, he's looking for a fight up against two squads.
Hey, he probably knows if he tries to get away, he's just going to get taken out. So sometimes you got to fight those losing battles, and if you miss every shot, you don't take. And Zensi on the low ground here, he has caught wind of another player. It's Alki on that high ground. But instead going to be using going to use the bridge as natural cover. And Pharaoh, do they want to save Zensi? Or are they saying, okay, you're on your own. We'll see if you can make it. And I mean, he's making it so far, but I guess they're just going to hope that he can make it out alive by himself. No resources used at all. And GAW, not even committing resources for this either. Maybe throw a couple pot shots. Zensi's low. He can heal up a little bit more, though.
Yeah, it'll be a big loss here if Zensi gets taken down. He's got the AWM in his hands. And it's pretty valuable at a stage like this.
Demon.
Riptide but Demon Revenge executed perfectly with that AC-80. Don looking for a couple of points as well. Up against the Buriram players. Time Turner pulled out. Jonah still struck down. Jump had the better gun in his hands. The Trogon getting the damage done. And Buriram still trying to recover from the initial takedown.
Oh boy, Buriram, they are limping this game. I think at this point, if you're Buriram, you are just going to have to settle for those placement points because, yeah, just getting first place, that's going to be a Goliath task in itself. But some of these other teams in this round, they're doing amazingly. Speaking of amazingly, Todak, I mean, they're still in the round. They're constantly having those buybacks available. But with every buyback, for these teams, with how late these buybacks are as well, they will be lacking some loot going into that late game. Now, speaking of the conditions of all of our teams so far, only one team is gone, which is Esports. Everyone else is still in the running here. And leading the charge with eliminations is actually RRQ.
Oh, yeah. I mean, no surprises there at all. RRQ is definitely the ones carrying the momentum in from that previous game, as well as Falcons. As anticipated, the top three teams that do well generally on this map are not performing well at all. Pharaohs have been nerfed quite a little bit after those early encounters. Esports, early elimination on top of everything else. We now only have one team that's better than RRQ on this map still alive and in the potential to win, and that's WAG, but they've barely showed up. In the grand scheme of things, that's a good thing.
It's a good thing for now, AJ.
Uh-oh.
But, you know, some things come to an end after you've had a little bit too many of them and get high. Oh, it's so close.
GG.
But I think this might just be it. Oh, on fire's sake. Sorry, mate. This is going to be our game this time. Oh, man, I feel for Buriram this game. They had such a great game one. And, I mean, they're still in the game thanks to Moshi. This man just keeps buying them back. But there's only so much generational wealth you can have until you have nothing left, AJ.
I don't feel bad for them at all. This is going according to my script. They are not supposed to perform today, so...
Oh, wow. Look at this man cursing Buriram. Jeez.
It's only because I want to enjoy more games where Buriram takes part in, right? So if they qualify in here today on day one, I don't get to see a lot of them, and I'm going to be a very sad boy. So yeah, I'm a little bit happier if they kind of stumble a couple of times.
Yeah, all right.
Well, the situation here is a tad bit unfortunate, guys. I'm lagging, so I can't really see the gameplay. Bear with us whilst the casters get back into the...
Yeah, all right. We are slowly in there. Oh, EVOS. Okay, we catch that of Rassia there. So last player standing here for EVOS. It's a little bit concerning here now because it looked like they were going to come back into this game. But now, with only one player left standing, this late into the game too. Very, very dangerous. Very unlikely that EVOS is going to place high, but we'll have to see. You know, sometimes the game of survival is what keeps you in these matches. But speaking of survival, as more and more teams converge within this corner of the circle, the chances of survival just getting smaller and smaller as we speak.
Yep, and earlier on, Buriram kind of getting away from this spot, but now quite a number of other squads kind of converging here. RRQ, WAG, Virtus Pro, EVOS, Toda. The numbers are continuing, and Bigatron as well. My, oh my, quite a number of squads anticipating this to be the next zone, and they are absolutely correct. Circle kind of shrinks on in. RRQ, WAG, Virtus Pro don't need to move, and GOW now taken out of the equation. Team after team, they fall, and unfortunately, first two teams to get taken out of this is from Vietnam.
Bit of a scary moment here, AJ. We've got 4 out of our 10 teams remaining within this corner of the circle. And yeah, there's a lot of places to hide for now, but depending on where that circle moves next, it could be a not so great moment for some of these teams. Now, speaking of other teams, you have Todak and Pharaoh on the screen, and it looks like Todak, they're playing towards the outer edge of that circle, but this late, AJ, like, this is quite painful. I don't even know if you can even make it into the circle now.
Bigatron, and they have been exposed by that pop of Coda. Wasana spotted out. An easy takedown from afar. Virtus Pro getting involved in this fight as well.
Oh, Buriram.
And unfortunate for Buriram, they arrived to the circle way too late, out in open grounds. They're landing, stuck with that time turner, saved them a few seconds, but the moment they ran out of it, they started getting shot at from all corners, losing 3 players in succession, leaving only Captain Jonah, who's absolutely broke. Even if he finds a vending machine, man cannot afford anything.
Yeah, Jonah. Tough game. But speaking of a tough game, we also have Rasio, who's going to be struggling for the team. Todak running into Pharaoh there, but also there's Bigatron, who's sticking their nose into this business as well. Pharaoh managed to get Cougar in. No, Cougar gets sniped just as he gets in, and Sensi on the ground. Next, we do have Jump, who's trying to finish off a elimination. He will get it though, but outside the circle, he doesn't get it. Deeks from Bigatron says, hey, thanks for the point, buddy.
Pharaoh down as well. I mean, RRQ is just looking stronger and stronger to take a back-to-back booyah because all of the big Nextera teams have been taken down successfully already. And Falcon, unfortunate for them, they come across RRQ way too early. And it's just a firing squad in the form of RRQ that they encounter. Didn't help with the fact that Dudes had the grenade launcher as well to chip away so much of their health.
Oh, and that circle just keeps moving closer and closer towards our team. So we do have 8 teams remaining in this game here, folks. And so far, 5 of them are in the circle at the moment. We have a couple that are still towards the outside. And it's going to be struggle city just making it in, even if you're coming in from that top right-hand corner. But now it's a waiting game to see, are there any teams out in the open trying to make their way in? Because if you're not in that circle already, there is very little cover to work with. You're going to have to rely on launch pads to even get in. And even then, you're a flying duck.
Oh, man.
You're a
Jonah.
flying duck that should be shot at.
Well, Jonah, oh, wow, still managed to survive. Great rotations in with the glue wall. And now AGAL being pressured as well from the opposite side. Virtus Pro looking at the opportunity, instantly taking advantage. But Jonah still nowhere close to the circle just yet. And AGAL is looking for a bonus point off of him. This might just be the end of the Buriram run here. AGL, though, being pressured by Bigatron as they try to sneak a point away off of Buriram.
Bigatron might be the reason why Jonah survives. We'll have to see if Jonah can find a way in because, AGAL, they can't stick their nose out, but it's also so late, the blue zone. It's just so painful. Jonah, though, does not survive because he does succumb to the blue zone, but now I think AGAL, they are stuck. I mean, they've got Team SR there, but he gets taken down as well, so this might just be the end for them, meaning we are now going to be down to our top 6 teams this late into the game. And that's AGAL
karma.
Couldn't survive.
That's karma right there. They went for 1 point and everybody else just dunked on them. Bigatron by Vitality pulling away the most number of points off of AGAL, who spent way too long outside the circle. I mean, the blue is not kind at this stage.
The blue is so kind to RRQ because they are towards the front end of that circle. So they can shoot at anybody that tries to make their way through, unless they try to go through the compound side. But look at Virtus Pro on top of the rooftop. Diamond is on the ground. The rest of the team trying to delay as long as possible. But they know if they don't push that over now, they're not going to make it. 2 of their players make it through, but they've lost half of their roster. Rasia still surviving in the corner, just surviving, hoping her camouflage is going to work out for the team. But Virtus Pro, not so lucky, going to be shot down in 6th place.
Yeah, beautiful play by Ma'al. A anticipatory Riptide rhythm sent towards the way of Bigatron, but what's more impressive from that was the way Bigatron instantly backed away, dropped a few extra glue walls right in front of the Riptide rhythm and used the jump pad to quickly find that reposition. But unfortunately, behind the bus is still a spot where WAG can toss those nades at, and nade after nade after nade. Xbor and the squad will find those frags. No Steffi to use on the side of Bigatron, and Xbor will find the punishes. They just need one more grenade to take them down, but it's a tad bit too slow. The recovery is still strong from the Indonesian squad. X-Ball hits a 3-pointer.
X-Bomb! What a play there from Export, securing massive eliminations there for WAG, and they feel safe to launch themselves towards the front end of that circle. But look at 18, Dia eliminating Rasia, who was the last player there for EVOS, and now it's going to be our last 2 teams here. AJ 4 versus 2. WAG heavily injured, but maybe they can turn things around.
Beautifully done here as usual by RRQ. It's a 4v4, but one player is still needing to recover. What a split blitz once again from Dudes. He's got the grenade launcher, tosses yet another, gets a damage onto 2 players. Glue wall melt is laid out as well. Calling for the monster truck as a extra artillery here for the side of RRQ. Abe has got the cord. Dudes in a sticky situation, but managed to get away.
Oh, 18, dear. He's actually summoning the monster truck. Are they going to actually use this to maybe try and break these glue walls? Are they hiding behind the glue wall there with Duits as Tikui has been connected there to Cyrus? They're playing the long game here, going to use the bus now for natural cover to save their resources because I think these teams are starting to run low. Oh, but PLS1 in the back line is going to be taken out there by RRQ.
PLS1 hanging back to find the backs there, but instead he showed his back to 2 players on the side of RRQ who did not think twice, instantly pulling in the execution. They take him out of the equation, and now the flank is going to break down. A 3v1, Cyrus stuck in a tight little spot. But Tikui though, going in for the insane play, but does not find any connection at all with the monster truck. Pressured out by 18 Deer.
Oh no, they've lost their healer then at 18 Deer. Going to try and go for a big wraparound there onto Export. Tikui's on the ground. This should be it. RRQ. 2 back-to-back booyahs for day 1 of phase 2. If things keep going the way that they are going to lock in their spot in the grand finals right here, right now, today.
Back-to-back booyah, and can they make history in the same year on the brand new format to be the first team to qualify to the grand finals. But of course, fingers crossed, it does not happen like how we broke things down on spring, because they qualified first, but they did not become champions because their brothers Onyx Olympus of all teams crushed their hope by being the final team to qualify, final team to activate Champion Rush, but the first team to secure the booyah right after. But for now, the spotlight still on RRQ. It has been a great...
Helps with the focus, especially with how focused you have to be in this next game. And it's Bermuda, folks. Everybody knows how to play this game. We were all born on it. This is the map we all know and love. And I do suspect this one to be a very fast-paced one as well. So let's see who takes the lead first as we fly on in through a dead center flight path from the west to the east.
Yeah, kind enough flight path here, moving on through, allowing the teams to kind of spread out very equally, not really putting anyone in a bit of a pinch. And RRQ, as you can see, dropping into Ribnam Village as well as Hangar. And this is going to give them more than decent enough loot. And they've gone in here for a 2-2 split. So even if things do go south a little, they've got a little bit of a backup. And if things do go south for one of their duos, the revival isn't going to be too difficult at all on that split. But Bigatron versus Falcons, though, a tad bit unfortunate. Riptide Rhythm being dropped down. And obviously Falcons are picking up 2 easy points here. But Bigatron up on the roof, looking for a little bit of revenge.
I mean, Bigatron, they launched themselves onto the rooftop as well. So, I mean, this is a very confident play from the team. They do have someone hanging back for the revives if they do get taken out. But I don't know if Falcons is a team you really want to try to take out. This is the team that wants to fight early. Kuro, though, going to be losing that gunfight. Though Pina will be able to get the revenge there and knock down Kyong. So, you know, that knock him, Kuro, nothing too lethal yet. And, oh, okay.
Yeah, Bigatron is just playing a game of revival here. So Kyong gets the instant revive. And obviously the final survivor on the second floor is not going to be able to sneak himself away from this sticky situation in a 1v3 potentially now, but out of the window straight onto the roof. One has to use his time turner, but obviously he was going to get taken down anyway, so no use saving that. It's taken out of the equation, and Bigatron once again with the instant revive to stay in the game.
Well, at least they do have a lot of vision to work with, so they know roughly where Falcons are going to be. We have Buram on the screen right now, looking to hunt down players themselves, and they did catch a vehicle drive out of there, and it's GOW, but Buram may be feeling a little bit too out in the open, actually going to have to take out that drone there, so they have been scouted out. This is not going to be a surprise at all. So, just back, retreat, find a place to hide, and I guess regroup as a team and figure out where they want to go next.
GOW makes a little bit of a U-turn here. This could turn south, but Virtus Pro trying to shoot down P Esports, who were too smart to show up on the other side of the bridge. They just park down below, and potentially going to be waiting out Virtus Pro here as Diamond tries to quickly reposition so that he can find a decent angle to find the connection on the shots. Poon Jain jumping in together with the rest of his team members as well up onto this bridge, and Virtus Pro won't really have to move all that too far because the circle's pretty much on their side for the time being. And GOW, as they rotate around, are in a sticky situation here because Buriram keeping an eye on them. Oh, but very smart play off the terrain. Even just ducking away from those shots. Not at danger at all, but Evos from the back. GOW did not expect that.
Whew. Yeah, and now they're going to be pincered by 2 teams. And actually, Rasia almost getting sniped there by Wasana. Aim God, though, using the launch pad, but he's been shut down as well. And Evos now down a player. Going to be in a little bit of trouble here because Buram, knowing that there's a player down, this is the best time to fight into this. Akoi on the low ground there, being taken out by Eva. So we do have a bit of a trade going on, but Rasia got to be so careful because Moshi's here now. He's ready to pop some heads.
The presence of mind there from Rasia. He saw the Riptide Rhythm heading towards his glue wall and instantly backing away. And we've seen so many players make the exact opposite decision, right? Just sticking to where they are, trying to take down the sniper from afar. Rasia is way too smart for that. And of course, we're going to take a little bit of a pause on that fight, but between RRQ and Bigatron, there ain't no pause button here. That revival is instantly stopped by a Bay, who manages to catch the player before he hit that button. And one final survivor from the side of Bigatron, trying to hope and pray that he does not get found out there.
Oh, poor Dian. He is surrounded. And he just gets shot down by Jonah as well. So GAW, even though they had that player substitution, just really wrong place, wrong time, being pincered by two of our giants in the lobby. And we did see that very quick perspective of RRQ, and I mean, they've got 3 eliminations under their belt, AJ. They are not being contested at all. Bigatron tried, they failed, and I'm a bit worried we're going to be seeing that orange snowball yet again.
Always nice to have a rich friend. Koja just buys back his full squad, no questions asked. Not asking them to repay any favors whatsoever. Ikui. Oh, what a connection. Faiz though. Oh, my goodness. This kid is insane. And they're going in for the instant chase, looking for that extra point. We'll catch up with them in a bit. Pharaoh, on the other hand, looking for the player on the side of AGAL. Cypher, low plasma gun in the hands of Jump. And he will find the final nail on the coffin for AGAL. Was supposed to recover in this game, but instead they are the first ones to falter.
I think this might just be it for AGAL. I just don't see a way for this team to be able to get that first spot for today. So I think for the rest of the day, if you're AGAL, I think play with no expectations, but play with the intention to learn and get ready for tomorrow. Because, yeah, I like today, the odds are very low, but if they can learn the patterns and the play styles of the other teams, then they're going to...
Don't.
Oh, it's a bit late. Reaction time is key. There we go.
Couldn't do much in that situation. And obviously WAG always had the advantage there. GOW's Akoi though, slowly circling around. Falcons from outside pressuring them, so GOW. And obviously Akoi is looking for that vending machine and gets scanned out by the Dinoculars. Falcons know exactly where he is. Peroro on the flank. Yeah, couldn't get away. And timing was key there for the AC-80 takedown. And Falcons looking so much more sharper on this Bermuda map.
Looking a lot sharper. Although I have to say, I kind of felt like they were going to be more aggressive on Bermuda, but maybe they're also just restraining themselves. Because we've also seen them get a little bit too aggressive at times, and they lose placement points because they try so hard to grab all these eliminations. So maybe that little bit of restraint is going to help them place a bit higher in their matches as GOW yet again struggling, this time running into RRQ of all teams. And Akoi might not be alive for much longer.
Yep. RRQ just playing with their food, just forcing Akoi out of position. And Dudes already knew what is about to happen. Kind of flanks around alongside a Bay. Too easy for RRQ. And they might just look to settle this fight up against Vitality as well as they slowly rotate in towards Factory.
That could be the play. But I have look at this gold. 2,800. Was that on Dudes? Jeez. Man is rich. This is the thing I'm a bit worried about here, AJ, because again, just like the first 2 games, RRQ, no one is competing with them. They are getting all the gold, all the money, as many eliminations as they want. And it just seems like it's going to continue going on this way, whereas everyone else, I mean, they are all fighting amongst themselves, but I hope they're ready to deal with this giant of a team like RRQ. I think if you don't have several teams pelting RRQ at the same time, I kind of feel like we're just going to be looking at another orange booyah again. But see if someone can compete with them at some point in time, because they're not leading in eliminations. It's actually Falcons leading with 5 eliminations in the lobby so far. Quite spread apart as well. Not one team taking everything from everybody else. And we still have 11 teams in the lobby. Coachil, gotta be so careful. If he walks through that doorway yet again, he might be sniped. It looks like
but
PE are going to be the
Esports, though.
ones.
And Ray managing to sidestep that. And what a glue wall by Russia. Just bouncing the nade sent in by Nero. And almost got the clip onto Ray. Everything's going wide thus far. Nero not lucky just yet with those lethals. LBT on the flank from the right. Looking for at least one here. And Pharaoh trying to aim at them as well from afar. Nobody getting lucky just yet. That ice grenade is just going to force them out of position. But this is a stalemate between the two.
I think it's a little bit of an awkward fight for these teams. If they do try to commit for it, I feel like this is going to be a very dangerous bloodbath for these teams. But EVOS, I think they're preparing in case a rush does eventually happen. So it's up to P Esports if they want to be the ones to try and make that rush. Because if it doesn't happen anytime soon, then they're probably just going to wait and see where that next circle is going to end up going. And yeah, I think we're not going to see any movement now. I think this is where both teams just sort of camp out and see if anyone else gives them an opportunity. Laho, that was very close.
The next circle is going to be pretty crucial. And quite a number of players thinking that it's going to land somewhere between Kota Tua as well as Peak. And it is. Land exactly there. And a great rotation as well by Buriram. So they don't really have to move all that too much. But Falcons maybe looking to take them out of the equation here before entering this next circle. There is another squad outside and behind Buriram as well that could pose to be a huge threat. But let's see what happens to Buriram this time around.
So now we have RRQ hunting around, sharing the same compound with GOW, who are on this rooftop, I believe. And oh, Demon, he is going to be spotted there by RRQ. So unfortunately for GOW, if they move the wrong way, we know Dutz wants some blood. This man is hungry. He is so hungry. He's ready to take anything. But
yeah, it's such a tight spot.
Such a tight spot,
there,
AJ,
yeah.
and limited compounds now. Like very little resources. You have to fight for those resources now.
And of course the circle's just squeezing everyone in on the 11th minute, 11 seconds, 11 more teams left in here, but full squads, 44 total players. And that just means this is about to turn into a party at Bermuda. High ground taken by GOW, great rotation from them. Falcons are going to be pressured here because Toda looking for the rotation in, and of course RRQ may just show up on that roof as well shortly, so GOW needs to watch out. And if they do get up there, Falcons going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, Diane's been caught there by Falcons. So GOW, even on the rooftop, they're not safe. But now everybody's kind of waiting now, AJ. They're trying to figure out, okay, where's this next circle going to be?
I'm not too keen on the position held here by Toda. Playing a huge risk, and if they want, they have to take the spot of Falcons away right here, right now.
All right. Where is it going, AJ?
Goodness.
My gosh.
A great spot held here by Team Pharaoh, so they don't really have to rotate all that too much. Falcons up against Toda. These teams need to move 29 seconds, not just to make your decision, but to make your move and to find those eliminations as you get into the next circle. Pina finding the connection, and the Steffi pop at a timely manner, but Toda's not really looking to toss those nades in just yet.
Yep, and Falcons want this trench. Yeah, they're going to fight this Todak for this trench because this is the best line of natural cover that they can get their hands on, but they're going to lose Kororo for this very expensive battle here. They will be able to eliminate Todak, but they've lost Kororo. And I kind of feel like, was that maybe too expensive of a loss, AJ?
Oh, GOW was the biggest winner in that engagement, and Pina gets the revenge. This is what you get for sneaking away our points, but as they fly on in, the recovery instantly popped here by GOW. The time turner played really well. GOW wanted to go in here for the finisher. They could have just taken their chances with that high ground, but they wanted to take that up close and personal fight up against Falcons, who were looking for the recovery, and they picked on the wrong monsters. They lose 3 players in succession. GOW from in a good spot to a really bad spot now.
Yeah, oh boy. This is getting very dangerous now. Now, Buriram, they're out in the open using using glue walls, but they want this trench that Falcons have just secured for themselves, but they're just not feeling confident enough to try and fight for this anymore. So now that circle, as it moves, Falcons and Buram also needs to move alongside it. And while they do, they're out in the open. Glue walls becoming one of the most important resources as they travel along the blue zone.
Yeah, great play thus far. Wasana trying to back up the rest of his team members with those shots. RRQ trying their best to stay silent. Recovery on one of their crucial players, Dutz here, who has the grenade launcher in hand, but Ma'al shot down to the ground. Recovery impossible. Zenzi finds the Punisher. Now EWOS up against RRQ and Dutz shut down. And that is the key player to take out of the equation because his nades could have done EWOS in. PE Sports not giving the squad any time to recover. The pincer shuts down RRQ and prevents a back-to-back-to-back booyah.
We're going to be getting a new team that gets that booyah for this round, but who is it going to be? GOW eliminated in 6th place for the round, leaving us with our top 5 teams. And that circle is shifting to the right, and I don't believe anyone is there, so we're going to be seeing a massive dogfight amongst our remaining 5 teams. Moshe being caught out there by Jump on the side of Pharaoh. Loho being caught there by Explorer as well. Cougar eliminating Jonah. Buram is out of the game.
And WAG could not stand tall up against EWOS, who has decided to wake up in the competition. Pharaoh had the better chance here of looking for the circle, but they didn't want to stand outside like sitting ducks. They take the fight to EWOS, and grenade launcher after launcher into the house, and Dawn whips it out in style. It's Team Pharaoh with their comeback booyah at Bermuda.
And what a amazing way to end the game here for Pharaoh, who had a very tough 2 games for our playday today, finally catching a break, and at the same time securing a load of elimination points as well. I do believe they were sitting on 12 before the fight happened, so add 4 on top of that and they will get 16 eliminations plus those booyah points. Ooh, Pharaoh going to be feeling much better in game number 3, and maybe even thinking now, do we have a chance at maybe swiping away that first place ourselves?
I mean, guys, don't forget to hit that like, by the way. Like Karo, stream at Like Karo. You know what it is, baby. We need to get this up to 2,000 likes before we end the broadcast, when we are only halfway through. Who would have expected Pharaoh to pull away the booyah? But that's exactly what you can find in a game where you've got 11 teams surviving up to the 11th minute. That was just way too many squads, way too many players for such a tight little compound. And GOW threw away one of their biggest opportunities. Of course, they had to rotate because the circle was moving on in, but the timing that they played up against Falcons was so unfortunate. With their high ground, they could have punished Falcons, but instead they wanted to take a CQC and they got punished instead.
It's probably nerves, you know, you think you're making the right play, and with just so many factors, like the more teams and more players are within an area, there's so many elements that you just don't have control over anymore. Whether somebody decides to third party, whether somebody decides to launch themselves in, so unless you're the one making all the calls in that match, it's just, yeah, sometimes you have to take those risks. You got to make those risky plays. I mean, I feel for GOW, this was supposed to be a map where they have that redemption arc, when they can put themselves back up on that leaderboard. And I mean, I think they did the best with what they could. It was just too many external factors that really limited them from being able to play their absolute best. So, I mean, I hope they have a plan for these next 3 games, because there's no more Bermuda. You've got other maps that you have to play. And are you confident enough to get those points on those maps? We'll have to find out.
And the right elements need to play its own role for that final circle battle in order for you to pull away the booyah. And obviously Team Pharaoh had the right weapon in their pockets. That grenade launcher in the hands of Dawn. The team barely needed to do any work. You know, no glue wall melters, no riptide rhythm, nothing. It's just this guy pumping in lethal after lethal, nade after nade, getting those clips, and of course the wipeout. A tad bit unfortunate for RRQ that got pincered by 2 squads as they try to make their way in. And obviously at one point of time, if Dutz had been a little bit more proactive with his own grenade launcher, he could have been a world of difference for the side of RRQ. They would have been able to snuff out the team of EWOS, but you know, EWOS just didn't give them any room for that at all. Those glue balls were played really well, and they disabled their big brothers RRQ from walking away with a triple booyah to kick this day off. But of course, at the same time, they put themselves in a little bit of a pickle as well. They could not walk away with their own booyah.
So we finished up 3 games here today so far, ladies and gentlemen. We've still got 3 more to go, but obviously the players, they're going to have to sort of think, okay, if you're not in a great spot after the halfway point, what do you change, right? Like you've got to change something because clearly whatever you're doing today, or at least for the first 3 games, has not worked. And for the teams in the front, what do you do to stay in the front? Do you continue doing what you're doing now, or do you maybe consider changing things up? Because obviously we're going to start seeing some teams adapt because they've already got their eyes on, they know who's the strong teams, who are the ones securing all the points, who do we need to shut down, who could we maybe even harass. You know, sometimes in tournaments you start seeing these teams that are struggling for points, they will harass the other bottom performers to get those cheeky points in and to push themselves up that leaderboard.
And with this solid game, Pharaohs, they have managed to sneak themselves into the top 3 for sure because they were pretty close. You know, they didn't really have bad games in the first 2 maps, and this was that one opportune moment that they have managed to grab here for themselves to really put themselves right back into the fight, right? If we look at their past matches, we'll catch up with that in a little bit. Let's look at some of their performances here as well. With Jump walking away with 3 eliminations, 3 knockdowns, 1,899 on the damage as the rusher of the squad, rocking the Oscar, had the Joseph as well as Ford on him. And this is one of those standard combos, right? That Ford is going to help you recover as you start taking a little bit of damage. And Joseph is just going to negate any bit of those debuffs that you do encounter in the fights, which allows you a little bit more leeway up close and personal. And the man actually walks away with 10 solid assists thanks to that.
10 assists. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you get the assist or the knock, right? At the end of the day, if your team gets the eliminations, that's all that matters, okay? A kill's a kill. So you gotta grab those points wherever you can. But, okay, I kind of want to ask you here, AJ, like, what do you feel for Pharaoh? Why did they struggle for those first 2 games? Was it really just a case of unfortunate events and they ran into the wrong teams? Or did they maybe do something that kind of set them back for the first 2 games and they changed it up in game number 3?
Yeah, early engagements were the main reasons why Pharaoh fell in both Kalahari as well as Nextera, because they were getting eliminations, but they were getting eliminated way too early, therefore unable to collect those placement points. But this time around, they stayed silent all the way until the mid part of the game, where Chaos kind of broke free. They were also in the right place at the right time to pull away some decent points for themselves, kind of playing through the periphery, not getting involved in some of the bigger team fights. But the circle also kind of favored them quite a little bit, right? And like I said, after playing 2 very mediocre matches, you know, 9 points on Nextera, 6 points in Kalahari, this massive 28 points launches them into that 2nd spot. And now they are in the running to qualify for the grand finals early. But of course, knowing Pharaoh, the lack of consistency, I'm not really going to count on that all that too much. But I hope they can keep this up though.
Look how close that top of the leaderboard is, though. So yes, okay, RRQ is still leading by 57, like they're leading with 57 points. But after that, though, 43, 42, 41, and 40. Yeah, like the top 5, 2 to 5, absolutely within reach. I kind of feel like Esports might be getting a little bit too far to compete for that first spot, but I mean, Pharaoh, Falcons, WEG, and Buiram, I think if you just have 2 to 3 more great rounds, and I think at some point you also have to say RRQ kind of need to fall down in one of these games, the door is still wide open for anyone to take that first spot today. So if you're RRQ and you're an RRQ fan, I think you want to start feeling a bit scared now. You need to basically ask RRQ, hey, you guys gotta perform for these next 3 games. You have to be top 3 for these last 3 games. If you're not top 3, I think if they even finish in the middle of the pack, I think this might slip away, that first place. Yeah,
unless you want to pull a Pharaoh and get a massive game right after this. You know, even PE Esports can stand a good chance to get that number 1 spot, right? Of course, it's going to be a massive game followed by 2 consistent matches in order to be able to get that. And like you said, getting into the top 3 is going to be very crucial for the teams to sneak themselves in there. But of course, I think overall, that was a really good game from the side of Pharaoh, but they also, the other teams have to use them as inspiration, right? After kind of, you know, doing really badly in the first 2 maps, a comeback is still possible. And if Pharaoh can do it, the other teams definitely can catch up as well.
Yeah, but also you have to think, RRQ, somebody's got to deal with this team, or you kind of hope maybe they just do very badly on one of these 3 maps. Actually, speaking of, statistically speaking, AJ, for our last 3 maps, which one is their weakest map, statistically?
Let's keep that one out of the question for the time being, because, if you look at the other teams, for example, Falcons, statistically, Alpine Solara, they do really bad there. But we want to catch up on the conversation in a little bit. We've got an interview coming up for you guys after that, followed by a quick short break. When we come back, the final 3 matches of the day. Make sure you guys don't go anywhere.
All right, survivors. We're halfway through the games today, and as per usual, we're gonna have a bit of a conversation with one of your favorite players. And this time, it's coming from RRQ Kazu. Here is the king of the devil himself. Langsung kita sapa bersama-sama ya, katanya Raja Iblis nih. Pasti keren banget nih. Siapa lagi kalau bukan Maal? Hello Maal. Everyone please say hello to Maal. Hai Mal, boleh ya kita ngobrol-ngobrol sebentar, mumpung kita lagi jeda sejenak, ngumpulin nafas dan juga semangatnya lagi nih ya. Oke, Mal, saat ini kalau kita lihat RRQ Kazu sangat positif, 2 buya berturut-turut di game pertama dan juga game kedua, dan untuk sementara juga memimpin today standings. Apa yang sedang kamu rasakan, apa yang memotivasi RRQ untuk perform lebih baik lagi dari biasanya di matchday hari ini? Silahkan dipikir-pikir jawabannya, aku sambil translate dulu ke teman-teman kita di Asia Tenggara ya. So Maal, seeing how incredible RRQ Kazu has been performing today, 2 buyas in a row and currently leading today's standings, what exactly that motivates you and RRQ to perform even better today?
Yang dirasakan sih belum senang karena masih ada 3 match lagi sih.
Aha, jadi dirasakan masih belum happy, masih ada 3 match lagi, artinya masih belum berpuas diri nih.
Ya, betul.
Ya, betul. Irit banget sih jawabannya. Gara-gara di sana jual mahal nih. Tapi nggak apa-apa. Aku akan translate dulu. So he's feeling happy, but he's not satisfied yet because there's still 3 games left, and RRQ still wants to do even better. So yeah, let's see how they goes in the next 3 games. Oke, sekarang yang berikutnya nih, Mal. Kalau ngelihat persaingan sejauh ini, kemarin kan soalnya kalau berkaca dari Clash Squad Mode, RRQ nih ternyata tidak sesuai harapan. Banyak yang bilang juga, iya RRQ tuh jagonya di Battle Royale, bukan di Clash Squad. Tanggapan kamu seperti apa? Aku translate dulu ya, seperti biasa ya. What would you like to say to the fans or to all the survivors who thinks that RRQ Kazu is only meant for Battle Royale because you guys don't really perform well the other day when it comes to the Clash Squad mode?
Kayaknya benar sih kayak kata orang-orang. Kalau kita tuh jago di BR sih, kalau di CS agak kurang lah.
Kenapa kamu pasrah banget sih, Mal, jawabannya? Ada lagi yang mau disampaikan gitu yang bisa lebih memotivasi kamu dan juga teman-teman kamu gitu?
Udah nggak ada, cukup udah.
Okay, so apparently the answer is yeah, maybe RRQ is indeed better when it comes to the Battle Royale instead of the Clash Squad mode, but at least they're doing something and at least they're doing it right because obviously they got the first 2 booyahs in a row, and yeah, we're still looking forward to see if they can get any more win on the last 3 matches that we have left. Okay, last question. Maal, bermain dari jarak jauh nih ya, nggak ada di studio bersama-sama karena kita juga sama-sama tahu lah seperti apa kondisi Indonesia saat ini. Apa yang mau disampaikan kepada teman-teman players dari tim Indonesia lainnya? Silakan dipikir-pikir, aku translate dulu ya. So, Maal, is there anything you'd like to say to the other Indonesian teams? Because we all know that not playing in the same studio is of course something that hits us differently. We all know the situation in Indonesia is not really okay right now. Is there anything you'd like to say to support the other teams and to support your own teammates in this type of situation?
Stay safe semuanya.
Stay safe everybody. That's it. Itu doang. Maal, aku samperin kamu ke sana ya. Beneran masa jawabannya cuma stay safe aja. Apa-apa? Semangat teman-teman. We're in this together atau apa kayak gitu.
Semangat guys.
Semangat guys. Keluarin dong suara Raja Iblisnya. 1, 2, 3. Semangat guys. Gitu.
Semangat guys.
Alright. Stay safe everybody, and thank you so much, Maal, for your precious time. Good luck with the rest of the games. Bye-bye. Okay, itu tadi Maal, but survivors, we're gonna go back to the game, but we're still going to have a bit of a break first. Jadi jangan kemana-mana, stay tuned only on Free Fire World Series Southeast Asia 2025 Fall.
Halo guys, gua Aim God dari tim Esports Divine, role gua Raster. Oh Joena ini, Joena Buriram. Oh bukan, tim Vietnam dengan satu huruf. Wih, siapa bang ya? Dari Heavy harusnya. Oh Nero, nggak tahu bang. Ini Oni Crime. Oke. Oh ini kagak tahu deh. Terus saya dari Malai bang. Kurang tahu deh sih bang. Nggak bisa tebak? Iya nggak bisa. Oke. Ini tim Indo harusnya Kagendara. Oke. Oh, tim Thailand. Falcon Keroro. Oke. Ini yang megang CVR Strines, tim Vietnam, Flash, tim Resident ya betul. Ini BTR Koja. Oke om. Moshi. Siapa? Ini tadi nggak tahu. Oke. Ini siapa ya? Serius. Oke. Butuh counter Esports Divine di kalah hari dong.
Halo guys, nama gua Dut dari tim RRQ, role gua support system. Siapa ya? Aduh gua nggak tahu lagi bang. Dian, bukan ya? Bukan. Oh, skeleton. Ini mah anak Onyx, Crime. Ya bener kan? Coba bang, cluenya. Tim Malaysia, logo tim bergambar kucing. Nggak tahu gak? Siapa itu bang? Alif. Nah ini tahu player Indo juga. Raf, KG. Wah ini musuh gua bang. Keroro. Siapa ya namanya? Gua tahu tapi lupa. Dead. Yakin. Gampang ini. Cluenya. Tim tanpa role sniper. Nyerah.